A brand new Zogby poll shows that a solid majority of voters believe that Joe Biden is in fact in the early stages of dementia, a belief that's more or less sealed the election for Donald Trump. In this video, we're going to take a look at the latest Zogby poll that's already becoming a nightmare for the Biden campaign and precisely why this latest development all but guarantees a Trump landslide in November. You're not going to want to miss this. Greetings, everyone. Dr. Steve here with you. The doctor's in the house, as always, but this doctor happens to be in Harrisburg today for the Association of Classical Christian Schools Repairing the Ruins Conference. I'm here with some of my colleagues, and we're part of a simulcast along with a dozen of other satellite locations throughout the country for 2 or 3 days for this conference. It's really just quite wonderful. But I did want to make sure we had a little time to chat about this really game-changing poll for November. But first, I want to give you a warm welcome to all of our new viewers. If this is your first time here, this channel is your daily white pill of encouragement, where we celebrate each and every day the inevitable collapse of left-wing globalism and the unstoppable rise of a new conservative age. So if you haven't already done so, make sure to smack that bell and subscribe button. It'd be an absolute privilege to have you as a regular visitor to this channel. You're not going to want to miss a single video where we detail everyday current events in light of conservative trends so that you can live in the present in light of even better things to come. Also, make sure to click on the link below and check out the awesome video we put together just for you, featuring our brand new Turley Talks Insiders Club. We are so thankful to those of you who've signed up for it, and you are going to love being a part of this massive group of conservatives from all over the world to network with. By becoming a member, you'll get more exclusive access to me and our journey together into this new conservative age that we are indeed embarking on. Every week, you'll get a special deep dive video reserved solely for our Insiders members. You get my monthly reading list to keep you updated on the best and most enriching information that's out there on the rise of conservatism. You get a number of bonus videos, and you'll even get some awesome accessories like our Turley Talks tumbler to drink your coffee in, or whatever your beverage of choice happens to be, especially at conferences like this, all for less than the price of a cup of coffee a day. So don't wait. Make sure to click on the link below. Watch the video on the Turley Talks Insiders Club to get a fuller sense of what you'll be a part of. This offer to join for such a low price is for a limited time only. So click on that link, and it'll be an absolute privilege to journey with you into this new conservative age together. All right, gang, let's dive right in here. We have a fascinating poll from Zogby Analytics, and it's a poll just over 1,000 likely voters. That is key, by the way. Most polls that you see are polls of registered voters, which are the easiest, cheapest, and fastest polls out there. So CNN will call around a registered voter database. In a matter of just a few hours, they'll find that Biden has a 99-point lead over Trump. Well, what do you know? Here's our new headline, and then they just go with it. This kind of polling of registered voters has become a kind of like ambulance chasing, a headlines fishing polling for the mainstream media. The problem is that registered voters don't necessarily vote. Upwards of 30 to 40% don't vote. So registered voter samples are not very good indicators of what election results are going to be. So what you want is you want to sample what are called likely voters. And these are voters that have voted in, say, the last 3 or 4 election cycles and are definitely planning on voting in the next one. That's who Scott Rasmussen focuses on. Trump, by the way, has 47% approval. That's who Zogby is focusing on, 1,000 likely voters. And Zogby asked him a question. Do you believe that Joe Biden, the presumed Democratic Party nominee, do you believe that Biden is in the early stages of dementia? Now, to be honest with you, I'm shocked the poll question was even asked, okay? I'm astonished that a major reputable polling firm like Zogby was so bold to ask that question. But it is an important one. The Bernie Sanders campaign brought it up, right? If you elect Joe Biden to represent the Democratic Party over Bernie, you are committing political suicide because the guy is obviously experiencing major cognitive decline. And if it's not obvious to you, it's sure the heck going to be obvious to independents, because the Trump campaign will make sure of that. So now, folks, we're in a situation where the Bernie Sanders campaign, the former campaign, is frankly being vindicated. Pollsters, major pollsters are now asking the question, do you believe that Joe Biden is in the early stages of dementia? And the results speak for themselves. A solid majority of Americans do in fact believe that Joe Biden is in the early stages of dementia. Now, you may think I'm being impulsive here, but I'm just going to come out and say it bluntly. If this is the case, the election is over. If 55% of Americans believe that Joe Biden is experiencing the early stages of dementia, this election is over, period. There is no way that a majority of Americans are going to vote for someone who is demonstrably senile. Yes, Democrats will, but you'll notice in the poll, the vast majority of independents, 56%, think it's more likely that Biden has dementia than those who don't. And this is precisely why Bernie's people, this is what they were warning the Democrats about. Young people too, 60% of voters between the ages of 18 and 26 believe Biden exhibits early onset dementia. No, this election is over. These are accurate. As we draw closer and closer to the election cycle, the symptoms of Biden's dementia are only going to grow stronger, and it will become a major political issue. And then think of how cringeworthy it's going to be when he tries, however futile, to explain his way out of it. I mean, can you even just begin to hear the stammering? How convincing is that going to be? So I think this poll is the beginning of the end in many ways. Now, I never thought Biden had a chance, but I just think this poll solidifies that. I mean, even 43% of blacks think he has dementia. So this is not good news. This is a nightmare for the Biden campaign. Now, of course, this poll couldn't have come at a more convenient time for President Trump because he's gearing up for what promises to be the single most amazing, massive Trump rally ever. We've never seen numbers like this. Over 1 million tickets have been requested for the rally set for tomorrow, Saturday, in Tulsa. Obviously, setting a new record for a Trump event. By contrast, Joe Biden could not even fill a high school gymnasium. And gang, that is not mere rhetoric, okay? That is not right-wing wishful thinking or hyperbole. Look at this. Do you know what this is? This is a picture from one of Biden's first public events after he emerged from his basement just a couple of days ago. It's in Darby, Pennsylvania. It's actually his home state. He moved to Delaware. This is a major campaign stop just the other day where he delivered a speech to a room of barely 20 people. Gang, even the New York Times is having to admit this is utterly embarrassing. You have Trump getting ready to speak to upwards of 1 million fans in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and you have Biden speaking in his own hometown to barely 20 people, most of whom, by the way, were reporters. And this, my friends, is precisely why the Marxist media is so scared to death of the return of the Trump rallies, because they're going to show the entire nation just how pathetic the Biden campaign really is. So that's why, if you read the feckless banter spewed out by the left-wing mainstream media, the cultural Marxist propagandists disguised as the press, don't ever forget, we have a free press that actively seeks to censor opinions and reports it doesn't like, okay? But that's why our propagandist press is focusing so much on the supposed health risks provoked by the mass onslaught of people coming into town for the rally. Look at this one from Vanity Fair. How do you like this? This shouldn't be happening. Tulsa health officials despair. Did you hear that, gang? They despair as the Trump rally rolls into town. So where were you with the protests over the past few weeks, Vanity Fair? Where was the despair back then? Everyone knows this is a charade, that the left, which unfortunately includes a lot of healthcare workers, everyone knows that they're nothing more than shills for cultural Marxism at this point. They have actively attempted to politicize a pandemic, and such mass recognition has only impeded their ability to continue to the charade. So in the meantime, President Trump is beginning to rev up the Trump train like never before and fire up his troops. His voter intensity levels are through the roof. They're only going to get higher. The enthusiasm gap between him and Biden's nearly 20 points wider than back in 2016. And with the news of most people believing that Biden has dementia, we can expect that enthusiasm gap to only get wider at this point. I really do believe this election is over, and I think we're going to see that on display indeed for all the nation to see this weekend at the biggest MAGA rally in history. And you know Trump is going to be absolutely fired up for that one. All right, everyone, back to work for me. Now, before you go, make sure you check out my latest video I just uploaded. It's awesome. It's on the massive populist uprising against the far left that's surging across the country. You are not going to want to miss that. So make sure to click on the link, and I'll see you over there. God bless.